Hello! Just a really short video this week of me doing some work in one of my friend's kitchens. The kitchen is only about 4 years old and my friend's lived in this house for a couple of years, but she's always hated the kitchen, so she wanted a new one. It's in an extension, so everything is brand new anyway. The cable's all new, it's obviously in really good condition, so nothing needed changing. Also, the house is a terrace, so it's a really long, thin room, so there's not really much you can do with the layout of the kitchen. So that's staying the same, so nothing really needed moving or changing. Weirdly, the accessories, some were squared corners, some were rounded, and she obviously wanted all fresh new ones that matched. So I changed everything that was in there. There was no lighting to be added. I already had a supply for under cabinet lights, which I'm gonna put LED strip on when the kitchen goes in. The spotlights were fine. The biggest thing was sorting out the supply for the oven. So you'll see that in the original kitchen, they'd wired an induction hob, which was on a 6mm flex, into a cooker connection plate, and they'd added the 2.5mm flex from the single oven into the same plate. And then it went to an isolator on the wall, and then I can't remember if it was on a 32 or a 40, you'll see on the video. So I needed to split those up. The 6mm supply is fine, that's already in, is fine for the new induction hob. So I've just added a switch fuse spur off the ring circuit, and then a 2.5mm down to a connection plate behind the single oven, ready for that to be wired in. Other than that, it's not really, there's not much to say about it. I've done a little video of me changing the switch. There's a 2-gang switch. It was really squashed in because somebody had left loads of insulation in the back of the switch. So I tidied that up. Enjoy. If you like my content, subscribe to my channel. Bye.
With hints, tips and tradie chat. Grab yourself a brew because it's about to start. This is Women in Trades with Amy the Sparky.
Before the show starts, I just quickly wanted to talk to you about Tradify. Tradify is a fast-growing job management platform for all busy tradespeople. It's great for managing all sorts of business admin, such as quotes, tracking invoices, timesheets and appointments, leaving you more time to focus on other important things. Tradify have very kindly given me a discount code for my viewers, so check them out by clicking the link in my show description and using discount code AMY50 to get 50% off. Now, let's crack on with this show.
This one's a bit funny actually, because I used to actually live in this house. It's one of my best friend's houses, and I used to live here with her for about a year. She's having a new kitchen. The kitchen's not actually that old, and it's an extension, so basically everything's only a few years old, so I don't need to replace cables and stuff. I just need to move a few bits. Add a supply for the new oven, because I'll show you what the previous owners have done. So one isolator down to a cooking connection unit, and then they just put the flex for the hob and the oven in one. So I'm going to split those up by spurring off the kitchen ring. There's only 6 sockets on the ring, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Show you what else I'm going to do. I'm basically just renewing all accessories, so everything's going to be new, so it's nice and clean. Getting rid of those up there, it's not needed. Moving this supply for under cabinet lights to the top of the cabinet, so I can put a transformer on and some strip underneath so it's neater. She had some old-fashioned lights under there before, they weren't that nice. So, and then also I'm going to fill those blanks in at the board, make it a bit safer. So yeah, that's it.
So I took this switch front off and it was a bit messy behind, so I'm going to tidy it up. The insulation hadn't been stripped back enough, so it was very squashed. I don't like the old style connector blocks, so I'm going to change those. I always use the ideal push-in connectors. I feel like they make just the inside of the switch tidier. So those two are just my switch wires. One is for the spotlights on the ceiling, and the other one is for some under cabinet lights. This is my feed in and out, with a little piece of cable in between, just connecting them together. I always use croppers rather than side cutters. I've cut those off so I know that those are my power in, power out. I always like to use these small pliers just to pull my cables nice and straight, just to keep it as tidy as I can. I tend to use 2mm earth sleeving just because I find that it looks tidier. These are the ideal push-on connectors that I always use. I've just noticed watching this back that that neutral cable on the right has a little nick in it. I actually didn't notice that on the day, if I'm being completely honest, because I'm standing to the right of that switch, and it's on the left sort of underside. But when I go back to the job next week to connect the hob and oven and extractor fan, I can put a bit of heat shrink over that. So I've crossed those switch wires back over because that's how they were. That's how the customer's used to it. As you walk in through the door on the left hand side, the main spotlights is the first switch. When I'm terminating a cable, there's only one cable in the hole, I always fold over the end like this just to make a better connection. So that's my two switch wires in, and now I'll put power in and power out back into common with the little link in between. I tend to cut the ends off and re-strip the ends of the cables. Most of the time when you're replacing accessories, you can see physical damage on the copper anyway. So I like to cut that bit off, re-strip it so that there's a good connection. Screw that front on and it's all done. I'm going to change this socket now. So I know the power's off anyway. I've isolated it at the board. I put my socket tester in just to make sure. You'll notice a serious lack of earth sleeving in every switch and socket on this job. Most of them, they'd put the earth together and just put an inch or two of sleeving on. Pointless. So I'm straightening all my cables out again just to make it tidier inside the back of the socket. 2mm earth sleeving, keep it tidy. I'm just cutting those ends off again, re-stripping them. The copper's a bit damaged and I want there to be a good connection. Remember to always give your cables a little tug once you've tightened them up, just to make sure that you've got a good connection, especially when you're putting multiple cables in. Sometimes one might get pushed out as you screw it down. Folded the end over on that earth because it was just a single cable in the hole. That's that. Fold the cables as sort of tidally as you can in the back. It's a little bit tight because obviously there's 3 cables in there, but there won't be too much pressure on it. Put a level on it. I'm a professional, aren't I? Screw that back. And it's all done. Back in the van. It was difficult to film today because I was trying to be really quiet because they've got a little baby who coincidentally stole my bedroom. No, not really. My old bedroom at that house is his nursery now though, which is so cute. Yeah, wasn't really much to show. Changed some sockets, changed some switches, and that was it.
That was Women in Trades with Amy the Sparky. Never miss an episode by subscribing now. Just hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on.